Hello, sir and friends. My name is Gisella Waworuntu, and my student's number is 2382019. So in this video, I'm going to presenting my WebTube Meet project. First, I will explain the code base that implements CRUD, operation for comments, post products, recipe, and to-dos. So the first one, I will explain the code and I will demonstrate it. Let's start with the add comments. So in this add comment component, we import use mutation from jQuery, which help us manage the state of our API request. We also import use state for local state management and use navigate for navigation after a successful operation. We define three pieces of state: comment user ID and post ID. This will hold the comment text, the ID of the user, and the ID of the post to which the comment belongs. The mutate function is created using use mutation, which will call our add comment function to send a post request to the server. In the handle submit function, we prevent the default form submission, check if the comment is not empty, and then call mutate with the necessary data. The component renders a form where users can input their comment, user ID, and post ID. Upon successful submission, the user is redirected to the comment page. Next, we have the add post component. Here we utilize a separate post form component to handle the input fields for the post details. This keeps our code modular and usable. While the post is being added, we display a loading spinner to inform the user that the operation is in progress. And in this add post component, which functions similar to the add comment component, but is used for creating new posts. Next, the add product. The add product component is designed for adding new products to our inventory. Similar to the add post component, we use a product form to gather product details. This promotes code reusability and separation of concerns. After successfully adding a product, the user is redirected to the product list page. Next, add recipe component. In this add recipes component, which allows users to add new recipes, we again use a dedicated recipe form component for input. This keeps our code organized and easy to maintain. As with previous components, we show a loading spinner while the recipe is being added. Next, comments component. The comments component is responsible for fetching and displaying a list of comments. Using use query, we fetch comments from the API. This hook automatically manage loading and error states for us. If the comments are still loading, we display a loading skeleton. If there's an error, we show an error message to the user. Once the comments are fetched, we map through them and display each moment along with the user's details. Users can click on a comment to view more details. Next, detail comments components. The detail comments components allows users to view and edit a specific comment. We fetch the details of a specific comment using its ID. This is done through another use query call. Users can update the comment or delete it. We provide buttons for both actions, and upon success, the user is redirected back to the comment list. Next, edit product components. The edit product components allow users to edit existing product. So we fetch the product details using its ID and display them in a form for editing. After successfully updating the product, the user is redirected to the product list. Next, to-dos component. So in the to-dos component, fetch and display a list of to-dos. Similar to the comments component, we use query to fetch to-dos from the API. Users can toggle the completion status of each to-do. We update the status in the backend and may want to refetch the to-dos afterward. Next, recipe detail component. The recipe detail component fetch and displays detailed information about a specific recipe. We retrieve the recipe details using its ID and display them, including ingredients and the instructions. Users can delete a recipe with confirmation, and upon success, they are redirected to the recipe list. Next, product detail component. The product detail component is similar to the recipe detail component, but for products. So we fetch the product details and display them, including reviews and image. Users can delete a product with confirmation, and upon success, they are redirected to the product list. Next, we're going to the comment form components. So here is responsible for both adding new comments and editing existing ones. So we import necessary hooks from React and React hook form, which simplifies form handling and validation. The comments form props interface defines the props that this component will receive, including its edit, mute VN, and default input data. This allows the component to know whether it is in edit mode and what data to populate the form with. We use the useForm hook to manage form state. This includes registering input fields, handling form submission, and managing validation errors. The useEvec hook is used to set the form values when the default input data is provided. This is particularly useful when editing an existing comment, as it prefills the form with the current comment data. The onSubmit function handles for submission. If we are in edit mode, we prompt the user for confirmation before proceeding with the update. The muted VN is then called with the form data. The component renders a form with fields for the user ID and the comment body. It also displays validation error message if the user tries to submit invalid data. Next, navbar components. In the navbar component is provide navigation throughout the applications. We import components from the UI for building accessible drop-down menus and navigation links, like the product, recipe, comments, posts, to-dos, and the homepage. The next, post form components, which is used for creating and editing posts. Similar to the comment form, we import necessary hooks and types for managing form state. The post form element props interface defines the props for this component, including its edit, mutate VN, and default in data. We use the useForm and also the useEvec hook. The submit handler function formats the data before sending it to the server. The form includes fields for user, title, body, and also the text. It also displays validation error message, ensuring users provide the necessary information. Next, to-dos form component. The to-dos form components allow users to create and to edit the to-dos. We import React and use state for managing local state. The to-dos form props interface defines the props, including its edit and muted VN. We also manage the title of the to-do and an error message state to handle validation. In the handle submit function, we prevent default form submission and check if the title is empty. If it is, we set an error message. The component renders a simple form with an input field for the title and a submit button. If there's an error, it displays the error message to the user. Next, recipe form. The recipe forms component is used for creating and editing recipes. So we import necessary hooks and types for managing form state and handling recipe data. The recipe form elements props interface defines the props, including its edit, muted VN, and default input data. We also use the use form and the use effect hook. We manage selected ingredients and cooking instruction using local states, so the users can add or remove the instructions dynamically. The onSubmit function formats the data before sending it to the server, ensuring that the ingredients and the instructions are properly in structure. The forms include fields for recipe title, ingredients, cooking instructions, preparation time, cooking time, and difficulty level. It also displays validation error message. And the last one is product form components. So in this product form component, which is used for creating and editing products, we import necessary hooks and types for managing form state, just like the previous one. The product form props interface defines the props including its edit, muted VN, and default input data. We also use the use effect hook and on submit function. And the last one is the form includes fields for product title, description, price, category, and discount percentage. It also displays validation error message to guide the users. So now I will open it and demonstrate it. When we open, we will see the home page. Welcome to Gisella websites. And then there are products, the list of the products. Next, for the recipe, list of the recipes. We can see the ingredients, the instructions, and we can edit the recipe. So because I forgot to change the share screen, so I will show it again. This is my homepage. Welcome to Giselle website. And then we go to the product. There is list of the products. And then recipes, the list of the recipes. We can also see the ingredients, instructions, and we can edit the recipe. We update the recipe, we change it into classic pizza. Then we select the ingredients. We change the preparation time and the cooking time. And also the difficulty level to medium. To see it, we have to inspect. And we update the recipe. Are you sure want to update recipe? Okay. And we can see that the classic margherita pizza is changed into the classic pizza, just like what we done before. Next, we can also add the recipe, create the new recipe title, just for example, soto, and we select the ingredients. And then at step preparation time, difficulty level hard, then create recipe. And we can see the new recipe for soto. And then we go to the comments page. This comment page, we can also see all the comments. We can add new comments, user ID, and then post ID. And our comment is so great. And add comment. We see, yeah, we add the new comment here. And then we can also edit the comment. We change it into this is some awesome idea. We save it and we can see here the update or the edit. Next, the post list. We can see all the post list here, and we try to edit the post. We save it. And we can see the changes. And if we want to delete this post, we can do it. Now we try to create a new post. The user ID is 20. Title is cooking. Is home. At post. We can see the new post here. Wait. Okay, next. The last one is to-dos. We can see all the to-do list here, and we try to edit the to-do. Jogging. Completed. Save. You can see the changes here. Then we can also add or create a new to-do. Examples for reading a to-do. And it doesn't complete it yet. And we can also delete the to-dos. Are you sure want to delete this to-do? Okay. So it's deleted. So that's all for my presentation for the demonstrated for my math project. Thank you for listening, sir and friends. May God bless us.